Well, late-night television hosts using a mix of comedy and seriousness in their first opportunity to comment on Disney's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel over his comments about Charlie Kirk.
My name is Jon Stewart, and welcome to The Daily Show on, I'm going to guess, Monday. I don't know. We have another fun, hilarious, administration-compliant show.
Jon Stewart amongst the hosts beginning their shows addressing the news. Earlier this week, ABC suspended the Jimmy Kimmel show indefinitely after Kimmel pointed out that MAGA supporters were using Kirk's killing to score political points. I want to bring in CTV's Scott Hurst now, who is following all of the latest fallout. Again, at least at this point, Scott, we just heard from Jon Stewart, but this was across the board last night on Late Show Television, commenting on one of their own. Take us through it.
Matt, good morning. Really, it's been a polarizing reaction since Jimmy Kimmel was suddenly pulled off the air. The American comedian, of course, very familiar to our Canadian audience as well in that time slot for many years. Of course, there's the Federal Communications Commission saying it would take action and now potentially probing other programs that have been critical of Donald Trump, namely ABC's daytime show The View, and large media companies which operate ABC affiliates across the country saying they would stop running the program over comments they believe to be offensive and insensitive. Of course, Donald Trump doubling down, saying Kimmel was fired for a lack of talent. But for those who are outraged by the indefinite suspension, it's triggered a lot of questions from supporters of the show about free speech, even on this side of the border. And as you mentioned, late-night comedians banding together in the wake of the fallout. Here's a little bit more from the late-night talk shows.
And to Jimmy, just let me say, I stand with you and your staff 100%. It is so bizarre to see an American president weighing in so vehemently on TV shows. It reminds me when Reagan said this.
Mr. Gorbachev, cancel the Golden Girls.
To be honest with you all, I don't know what's going on, and no one does. But I do know Jimmy Kimmel, and he's a decent, funny, and loving guy, and I hope he comes back.
I've always admired and respected Mr. Trump. I've always believed he was, a visionary, innovator, a great president, an even better golfer. And if you've ever seen me say anything negative about him, that's just AI.
And also in the meantime, on his way back from his trip to the United Kingdom, Donald Trump really doubling down, saying broadcasters risk losing their license if hosts criticize him, and downplayed concerns about freedom of speech when it comes to the comments made by Jimmy Kimmel, and applauding ABC for pulling the plug. Here's more from the U.S. president.
That's something that should be talked about for licensing, too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party.
And Matt, we've also heard from former U.S. President Barack Obama slamming the decision, accusing the Trump White House of taking cancel culture to a new level. Now, Jimmy Kimmel has not been officially fired, Matt, but it's unclear at this time if he'll ever return to his show.
Yeah, still awaiting official word on that. CTV's Scott Hurst live for us this morning. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Matt.